In this week's Torah portion, we learn how Moses gathered the Jewish people to tell them how to build the tabernacle, what materials to be brought. But right before he tells them what to bring and how to build it, he tells them the laws of Shabbos, saying that you can't build a tabernacle on Shabbos. And the rabbis ask something very simple. You see, on Shabbat, once the tabernacle was built, they were allowed to violate Shabbat in the tabernacle once it was built to do the service of God. So why can't they build a tabernacle on Shabbat? And to truly understand this, you first have to understand what Shabbat is about. You see, the first Chabad Rebbe says something beautiful about the creation of the world. When God created the world, he had to limit himself. God is infinite, and infinite creating a finite space is limiting. And the name that God used to limit himself is Elohim. And then when God completed the creation of the world, what does the Torah say? Vayachal Elohim. And Elohim was done. Elohim was complete. But the Alter Rebbe says, what does it mean that Elohim was complete? That on the seventh day, not only God rested, but God stopped limiting himself and let a little bit of his infinite light come down into this world, which makes Shabbat not only a day of rest, but it also makes it the holiest day of the week. It's not only a day of rest, it's a day of holiness. It's a day that we spend time in the synagogue. It's a day when we reflect on our week and connect with our family and friends over dinner, over Shabbat meals, listen to Torah classes, and connect with our spiritual side. And you see, that's why Moses told the Jewish people, you cannot build the tabernacle on Shabbat. You see, just like God, when he creating the world, when we're building something, in the process of building, creating something new, taking something physical and making it a space of holiness, Moses says, while you're in the process of building, you cannot combine that work on Shabbat because you haven't refined it yet. The space isn't ready for Shabbat, and we're still in the work part of it, and therefore you have to stay away from working on Shabbat. But once the tabernacle was complete, in the sense the tabernacle was the space that was always holy, right? And therefore, even on Shabbat, you were allowed to work in the tabernacle once it was complete, because it already came to that level of holiness that we are allowed to work in that space on Shabbat. And essentially, the lesson for us is, during the week, we're constantly working with various different things, whether it's your work with your family, you're always creating things. And Shabbat is a time to take a pause, not a time to stop thinking, but it's a time to think of everything that we've done and how to bring holiness into that. And therefore, before the holiness was brought into the tabernacle, before it was complete, you couldn't work on Shabbat. But once the tabernacle was complete, it already came to that level of holiness. So now it's a complete home to God. Now you could work on that space in Shabbat. And us too, we have to find everything we do in this week, how do we bring holiness into it? The same way that Moses commanded the Jewish people, is that once the space for God is ready, it's holy. You could use it any day of the week, including on the Sabbath. Shabbat Shalom.